Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Anatimirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vikantam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagannapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusite Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistamutili Prabhupada Tuttiya Shri Girirajaya Swamini Sivaktarada Bhaspi Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistamutili Ganeshmati Bhaktivedanta Swami Kinam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shri Ramadi Pacharya Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nangaite Girim Yatrikatam Vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam. Alright, so we are discussing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, we are on text 20. So this title, chapter title is Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. So we have discussed about the two knowers, soul and super soul. So now we are going on a different topic, which is very, very essential for us because it looks like it's going to be about karma and interaction with this material world. Let's read. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavati vikaramscha gunamschaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. All right, Shikala, you can read.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By the knowledge given in this chapter, one can understand the body, the field of activities, and the knowers of the body, both the individual soul and the super soul. The body is the field of activity and is composed of material nature. The individual soul that is embodied and enjoying the activities of the body is the Purusha or the living entity. He is one knower and the other is the super soul. Of course, it is to be understood that both the super soul and the individual entity are different manifestations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The living entity is in the category of his energy, and the super soul is in the category of his personal extension. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, so this is Vivinamsha and Swamsha.
Swansha.
What is meaning of Swamsha? Swa-amsha.
भगवान के अपने अंश, भगवान के जो अपने अंश होते हैं, अपने से जो अवतरित होते हैं वे.
Yeah. And then this Vivinamsha means
हम लोग जीव, जो प्रकृति जीव, हम अंश हैं लेकिन हम विभिन्न अंश हैं.
Vibhin means
Different,
separated.
separate.
Those amsha were separate from the Supreme Lord.
भगवान.
Go on.
Both material nature and the living entity are eternal. That is to say that they existed before the creation. The material manifestation is from the energy of the Superlord, and so also are the living entities. But the living entities are of the superior energy. Both the living entities and material nature existed before this cosmos was manifested. Material nature was absorbed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu, and when it was required, it was manifested by the agency of the Mahat-tattva. Similarly, the living entities are also in him, and because they are conditioned, they are averse to serving the Supreme Lord. Thus, they are not allowed to enter into the spiritual sky. But with the coming forth of material nature, these living entities are again given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter into the spiritual world. That is the mystery of this material creation. Actually, the living entity is originally the spiritual part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, but due to his rebellious nature, he is conditioned within material nature. It really does not matter how these living entities or superior entities of the Supreme Lord have come in contact with material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead knows, however, how and why this actually took place. In the scriptures, the Lord says that those attracted by this material nature are undergoing a hard struggle for existence. But we should know it with certainty from the descriptions of these few verses that all transformations and influences of material nature by the three modes are also productions of material nature. All transformations and variety in respect to living entities are due to the body. As far as spirit is concerned, living entities are all the same. Hare Krishna.
Okay, all right. So now comes the next description. So let's go through it. So now Prabhupada starts from paragraph number 2, right? So both material nature and the living entity are eternal. That we know, right? Material nature, is it temporary or eternal? Is it temporary or eternal? What is it, Anupama?
Eternal, Mother.
Okay. All right, so this is clear. So even though our bodies are dying, right? The body is matter, and material nature keep on putting out so many shapes, floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, meaning it keep changing, the look of the surrounding, right? If there's tsunami, right? So it changes the look. So even though the manifestations of material nature change, but actually the basic elements of material nature, they are eternal. All right? So the material manifestation is from the energy of the Supreme Lord, and so also other living entities. But the living entities are of superior energy. Both the living entities and material nature existed before this cosmos was manifested. All right, so now, why is it that both material nature and the living entity are eternal? Like, let's take material nature. Why do we say that it's eternal? Should get this correct, all right? It's there in your book, I just read it.
It gets transformed from one form to other.
Look carefully.
Because they are both the energies of the Lord.
Yes,
Superior energy.
because material nature also is the energy of the Lord. Therefore, what does that mean?
That's why they're eternal.
So why? So material nature, the energy of the Lord there. So what does that mean? It's the energy of the Lord. We say A is equal to B. Then we say A is equal to C. Therefore, B and C are equal. All right. So, if the Supreme Lord is eternal, it means that his energy is eternal. All right. And therefore, the matter is eternal. You follow? Why do we say that energy is eternal? Because the Supreme Lord is eternal. You get that?
But Mataji, we have always completely different concept today. We always say matter is temporary.
Material manifestation is temporary. But material energy is eternal. That's what we are reading.
So the 24 elements, they are eternal.
The manifestation is temporary. I just gave the example. Like there is cyclone, there's tsunami, there's flood, and it just changed the look of material, the surrounding, right? Just change it. Like your own body, youthful body, baby body, youthful body, middle-aged body, old-age body, right? Completely distort the real person. You follow that? All right, okay. Yeah, so we have to get that straight, that because the energy belongs to the Supreme Lord, the Lord is eternal, therefore his energy has to be eternal. All right. And one of his energy is material energy, Bahiranga Shakti. All right. So that Bahiranga Shakti is eternal, but the manifestations are changing all the time. So our bodies are changing, but it's just changing its shape. Like when a person dies, then you take all his material elements, all the shapes, whatever is left of his shape, you put in fire, you put in water, you put underground, wherever you do it, it changes back into its original 5 elements. Clear? So those 24 elements, they exist eternally. Right? So both the living entities and material nature existed before this cosmos was manifested. All right. So material nature was absorbed in the Supreme Person Godhead Mahavishnu. And when it was required, it was manifested by the agency of the Mahat Tattva. So material nature was manifested through this Mahat Tattva. What is Mahat Tattva?
These 24 elements plus Rajotamo, Sato Rajotamo.
It is that dark cloud in the Brahma Jyoti.
Okay. The dark cloud. What's that cloud? What is that cloud? That's the material energy, right? This Mahat Tattva we read from the second canto, it's also the body of Mahavishnu in material form. Mahat Tattva is also, so you can see the shape. It's not impersonal finance. It's the shape of Mahavishnu, Mahat Tattva. And it's material nature. The example is given just like the deity form is spiritual at the same time, made of matter. So similarly, that form of Vasudeva is spiritual, original, because he's spread everywhere. That's the meaning of Vishnu, Vistar, right? Vishnu, spread. Vasudeva, all pervading. So, though by nature, it is spiritual, but it appears like a material covering. All right, so here Prabhupada is explaining. Material nature was absorbed in the Supreme Person Godhead Mahavishnu, and when it was required, it was manifested by the agency of Mahat Tattva. So this material element took the shape of Mahat Tattva. Similarly, the living entities are also in him, and because they're conditioned, they're averse to serving the Supreme Lord. That's why it's so hard to get anyone to do seva, right? How much million of time you have to say. Million calls because somebody say yes, yes, yes. And they are ready to dedicate themselves to do significant service. Why? Because here Prabhupada is explaining their condition, and they have no interest to serve the Supreme Lord. They're averse to serving the Supreme Lord. Thus, they are not allowed to enter into the spiritual sky. So, meaning that whoever is living in this material world is very happy to be here. This is exactly where we want to be. Right? We don't want to go there in the spiritual world and serve Krishna. We're averse. Prabhupada saying here, averse to Krishna himself. Therefore, we very happily stay here and try to become little gods. But with the coming forth of material nature, these living entities are again given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter the spiritual world. So we come in this material world and we are averse to serving Krishna. Therefore, we very happily make all our homes and job and everything else we arrange very nicely, and we believe that we are going to be happy. But when even after so many cycles, life cycles, birth and death, we still are averse to serving Krishna. So we enter into the body of Mahavishnu. And when the time comes, through this agency of Mahatattva, all the jiva projected out into material nature again, and they get a new chance to change. Change and decide that, yes, I want to go back to Godhead. So, where is it? But with the coming forth of material nature, these living entities are again given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter into the spiritual world. So here we are. So we are in the material world. So we have been projected out of the body of Mahavishnu through the Mahatattva, and we have entered into this whole, well, we are situated, you could say, in the body of Mahatattva. So now, what does Prabhupada say? But with the coming forth of material nature, these living entities are again given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter into the spiritual world. So we are given a new chance. We enter into the body of Matter. Because when we emerge in Brahman, we just merge as atoms. Right, the atomic soul, right? So this atomic soul is again projected into matter. And when we are born, then we are given a new chance to enter the spiritual world. That is the mystery of this material creation. Why is this material creation? Is it just for suffering? Why? So it's created so that the jiva can do his business in this material world and be fed up with it and say, okay, let me go back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying this is the mystery of this material creation. Actually, the living entity is originally the spiritual part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. But due to his rebellious nature, he's conditioned within material nature. So what is the meaning of condition? He's conditioned within material nature. What is the meaning of condition? We can't go on reading the word condition, and we don't understand what it means.
He's habituated.
He's habituated, yes. Anything else?
It's a habit that has become a bondage.
Yes.
Present and
Yeah.
pursued.
You know, it's like
Forced.
All these ideas are. Where did I read that? Yes. So, due to his rebellious nature, he's conditioned within this material nature. So, actually, this condition, as you are all saying, you know, both all the elements you have mentioned. So, the first thing is that as soon as you become a rebel, what does material nature do? It captures you, right? I mean, you're unfit to be, meaning all of us, we are unfit to be in the spiritual world. So, material nature just catch us, put us in boundaries, all right? Put us in boundaries somewhere in this, in the so many universes out there. So just one tiny jeev, okay, you don't want Krishna, okay, good. There's another place for you, for us. So that's where we are. So, meaning that you have to obey the laws of that state, right? All right. I mean, it's so horrible, actually. So the ropes of this prison, or the walls of the prison house, it becomes your own habits. All right. Your own habits. These are the walls of our imprisonment. You follow what I'm saying, Ashwini?
Yes, Mataji. I'm just thinking how amazing it is that, he's created a bondage without us to realize there are no walls, but our own habits. I mean, it's first time I'm hearing this.
Oh, but you all
Yes.
said it. I just put everything you said together. It's horrible. It's horrible. Start.
Now we realize.
Yeah, when you start, when you start observing the world, you start observing the world of how, one person introduces a new idea, another person catch it, and then another person catch it, right? It just spreads, and everybody start behaving or thinking in a particular way. It's not really you. It's not really you. Somebody put the idea in the mind, and it becomes our selves. So condition means that we are jailed, and it becomes our habit, and we are happy here. It's okay, you're fine. Why do you want me to do anything besides what I'm doing? Baddha Jeev, right? Baddha Jeev. So those boundaries are our own psychology. Okay. So the shackles are very subtle. So he's conditioned within material nature. So we don't have to put, like shackles with him, chain him up. His own habit has changed him, chained him or her. Just like, the pig, he's trained to eat stool, all right? So he is locked in that body, and that body likes to eat stool. Conditioned to accept stool. So therefore, whatever sadhana we are doing, see here, we are reading to get knowledge. So that, see, knowledge means enlightenment. It automatically means liberation. Meaning that if you understand how the laws of nature work, then you can become free from it. So what we are doing now is like we are creating the awareness. We are making everybody know or understand the tricks of this material world. And hopefully, if the conditioning is not too thick, then our brain, our consciousness start thinking, oh, what am I doing here? Remember the story of Indra? Indra became a pig, right? And Narada Muni said, you are not a pig, you're Indra. Right? Say, no, happy here with all my kids. And whoever else are there. So it doesn't matter how these living entities or superior entities of the Supreme Lord have come in contact with material nature. So everybody asks, how did I come in this material world? And Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter how you came. Right? This is what Prabhupada is saying. Doesn't matter. Somewhere Prabhupada said, let me just go see whether it's here. Maybe it's here. Yeah, it doesn't matter how the living entities of the meaning that we belong to the Supreme Lord, right? Just like matter is eternal, the Jeev is also eternal, right? So we say because the Supreme Lord and his energy are non-different, the material, the energy is eternal and is eternal because the Supreme Lord is eternal. All right. Now we are saying that these living beings, they belong to the Supreme Lord, meaning they have the same nature as the Supreme Lord. So that's the point here. But we have no idea how come us fools, right? We turn our back, bahir mukha, right? We turn our face away from Krishna and we fall in the grip of material nature, which is indirect form of the Supreme Lord. It really doesn't matter how these living entities or superior entities of the Supreme Lord have come in contact with material nature. The Supreme Person Godhead knows how we are. That's what I was looking for. The Supreme Person Godhead knows how and why this actually took place. Did you catch that? Will you catch that? Rashmi?
So Mataji, is this previous statement, it does not matter, that statement, does it relate to that question which a lot of people ask, that
Yeah.
were we previously in spiritual world, where were we before?
Yeah. Yeah, because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Law. We belong to his own personal energy, right? We are not inferior energy, we are superior energy. How come that we have fallen into this material world? And Prabhupada say, actually, it doesn't matter how we have come in contact with material nature, but who knows? Yes, Shikala.
Lord, Supreme Personality of God knows.
Yeah, each and every one of us, how we have fallen into this material world. We may not know, but who knows? Yeah, the Supreme Lord knows how we have come and why, the specific reason. What we found so attractive, to be here? What attracted us to come in this material world? Yes, let's read it again. The Supreme Person Godhead knows, however, how, meaning what did I do? How, meaning did I, take a jet plane and descended here? Or did I just appear within the mind? How did I come in this material world? Did I walk all the way from Golok Vrindavan into material nature? Or did we cross, Akash Ganga, I don't know whatever. How? By which trick, which, route? We came into this material world, right? If we knew the route, we can also trace the same route and go back, right? We don't know the route, right? It's lost. Time immemorial. Nadikal, gone and lost. So where are we? So that was about the how I have fallen. Now, why did I fall? Why did I fall? Each and every one of us, we don't know why we fell. Maybe I was mischievous to people. Maybe I was greedy about money and the wealth of Golok Vrindavan, or from wherever we have fallen down. What horrific activities I have done. So Krishna knows why we have been placed in the body of a human being or in an ant. Okay. In the scriptures, the Lord says that those attracted by this material nature and undergoing, though in the scripture, the Lord says that those attracted by this material nature are undergoing hard struggle for existence. Everybody knows this. As soon as you're born, immediately your father and mother thinking, I hope this child doesn't die. Right? So much you invest in that child that he doesn't die. Right? Then as he started to grow up, then you say, okay, I have to send him to school. Right? He should be able to put what's that food in his mouth by himself. So that's why we send them to school. So it's a hard struggle for existence. But we should know it with certainty from the descriptions of these few verses that all transformations and influences of material nature by the three modes are also productions of material nature. All transformations and variety in respect to living entities are due to the body. As far as spirits is concerned, living entities are all of the same nature. All right. Who will explain this to me now? What this paragraph means? Anupama, you want to tell us? Who will explain this to me now? Read it again. Okay, let's start.
But we should know it with certainty from the descriptions of these few verses that all transformations and influences of material nature by the three modes are also productions of material nature. All transformations and variety in respect to living entities are due to the body.
Huh?
As far as spirit is concerned, living entities are the same.
So now, when this Jeev is coming in touch with material nature, he's taking all types of shapes, right? Whether it is, there are 84 lakh yoni, right? So he's taking any type of shape. And now let's say we come in human beings. So we are human beings, but not every human being is not same, right? So what is deciding this?
The three modes of material nature. So where the influence of the three modes of material nature on that living entity will decide what sort of shape he will take.
Yes. Yes. So meaning that this combination and permutation is Ashwini, can you mute yourself? Something is happening there. Ashwini, what's happening from your okay. Yeah, so these gunas, like these mixtures, are so innumerable. So innumerable. How it's like colors. How many colors you can make by mixing colors, right? So these three gunas, they are mixing and creating, you could say, our life, right? It's deciding how we live our life. In the scripture, the Lord said that those attracted by this material nature are undergoing a hard struggle for existence. But we should know it with certainty from the description of these few verses that all transformations and influences of material nature by the three modes are also productions of material nature, meaning that okay, let's say today, let's say I was staying in a huge palace, all right? And then you start off by staying in a huge palace, and then suddenly, all money is gone, and you have to stay in a small bungalow, right? And you say, I'm still good, staying in a bungalow. Then suddenly you find yourself staying in one small apartment, right? Have you changed? You're saying no, Anupama? Why are you saying no?
Uh, because it's the same person.
Yes, only the size has
Mode of
decreased.
living has changed, but we are the same.
All right, size has decreased, meaning, okay, before you had more freedom to move, and now you have less and less freedom to move, right? You're being restricted, right? So meaning you have remained the same. You were occupying only 6 feet by, I don't know, 4 feet. Right? Whether you stayed in the huge palace or the bungalow or your apartment, right? You're still occupying, you, the person you're occupying, still the same amount of space. But what's happening to you?
We are the
Same.
same, and also if we are aware, like you said, if we have knowledge, then only the way we react, then so that will take care of the. Mm,
So I'm just explaining because here it's explaining about transformations, all right? Meaning from huge, the transformation is happening here. What's happening to your mind? Right? What's happening to your mind? Right? Most of you go crazy, right? The transformations and influences of material nature, right? So your mind is going crazy. How is living in this huge palace, I don't know what happened. There's so much greenery everywhere. There was a forest behind my house. There was a river behind my house. And then suddenly it became a small bungalow. Your mind is going crazy. So transformations and influences. But if you know that you are not the body, your soul, all right, then you are able to handle the different situations, right? So it's explained in Bhagavatam, self-realized. So it said, we don't know as we travel. Sometimes I'm lying on stone. Sometimes I'm lying in a nice cushion, right? We don't know where we are sleeping. Today I'm sleeping, just on the train station, bench of the train station. Tomorrow I may be sleeping in a 5-star hotel, right? So the self-realized soul is not affected by all this. Just take it in his stride. That's the training. So in the scripture, the Lord said that those attracted by this material nature are undergoing a hard struggle for existence. So what happened to my ego, when I had a huge palace, when everybody was saying, yes, yes, madam, yes, 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 yes. And as your house starts shrinking, nobody even look at you, right? So it's like such a hard struggle for existence. But we should know it with certainty from the description of these few verses that all transformations and influences of material nature by the 3 modes are also productions of material nature. God. So we are completely under the grip. They call the shot, as we say, right? Material nature, they call the shot. We say that the wheel of time is moving, right? And this wheel of time is also the movement of the three gunas, sattvagun, rajagun, tamagun, and all its mixtures. It's keep on moving, and you are being ground by this wheel of time. So all transformations and variety in respect to living entities are due to the body. So that's why I say that sometimes I'm very happily sleeping on a stool like an animal, right? When I'm in animal body, I'm satisfied to just sleep on the stone or in a cave or in a hole. I'm satisfied. Varieties of bodies. As far as spirit is concerned, living entities are all the same, meaning that I'm saying here's cat, here's dog, here's cow, here's deer, here's human beings, here's reptile, etc. So their shapes are changing according to their mentality, but the living entities are one. They're spirit only. All right. Okay.
Mataji, what's this knowledge? How is this knowledge going to be helpful? We are under the three gunas, all this.
Yeah, how? And you know how to deal with it. Right? Let's say you're very much in sattva guna, all right? But something bugs you. And what comes out? Rajogun, right? Rajogun. But you can come back to sattva very easily if you are aware of what's going on. Because the soul is able to observe his or her own actions. And therefore, you can catch hold. You can catch hold of your actions or your words. You need to know how the gunas are acting on you. Therefore, introspection is required. And you should be able to observe yourself. That's the meaning of a sage, right? Introspective sage. Introspection is the first thing for any sadhaka. Without introspection, I can't just go blindly, just go blindly. Everything is fine. We are in the material body. How did I fall in this material body? Right? So all this information is to make me aware. Now it's just the beginning. We haven't even started yet. This is just like the first, it's like the sutra, that comes. The first statement that comes about what the discussion is going to be about. It is about material nature, living entities. They're beginningless, meaning they are anadi, beginningless. Their transformations, meaning how material nature is changing and how the living being who's inside material nature appears to be changing, but actually it's not, they're not changing. But because, like we keep changing our clothes, right? Morning you wear something, evening you are wearing something else. You're still the same, right? So their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Vikara. So if you are able to observe your own self, your own behavior, then you can catch hold. Otherwise, like mad people, who's a mad person? One time, happened to be in a situation where I actually became in touch with one lady. She just like erupted in her madness. And when I saw that, I realized that actually she was making no attempt to control her mind. All of us, we are trained to control our mind, but a mad person has the luxury, has the freedom to just let all the garbage on his mind or her mind out in public. That's what we call a mad person. So when you have knowledge, then or you have knowledge, meaning intelligence is becoming stronger than mind, right? And then your spiritual intelligence is increasing. See, the soul, at the end of the day, he's the culprit, right? How we fall into this material world. The soul is at fault, all right? So when we are able to dissociate between the gross body, the mind, the intelligence, and you, the self, right? If you're able to see all these different layers within this one shape that you're seeing, then chapter 3 says, the higher will control the lower. What is the highest in that hierarchy? Anybody remembers what's the highest? Rashmi, what you're saying? You're muted.
Soul is the highest, then intelligence.
Yeah, and then higher than the soul is?
Super soul.
Yeah, the super soul. Okay, so the soul is already weak. He's a Kripana, right? Kripana. If he wasn't Kripana, he won't come in this material world. Right? He won't try his luck here. So he's already very weak. Therefore, we take shelter of Krishna, and this is Krishna's words. Whatever we are reading, even the purport, these are all Krishna's teachings. So when we come in touch with Krishna, then we have the strength.
There was this word called dovetailed in the description. So
Yeah.
that's how we can gain strength if we are dovetailed.
Yeah. You know what's dovetail? What's the meaning of dovetail?
To get attached, to take support and then
Yeah, I was always mystified by this word dovetail. So I see a dove, then I see a tail.
Mataji, somebody explained in a class that this furniture, this word dovetail, comes from this furniture to fit the two parts together. They have to make like a gap in one thing and a protruding bit in the other, so it fits.
Yeah.
So they were saying that word dovetail actually comes from there.
Yeah. So the dog can lose its tails, right? So you take the tail and you fit it properly, right? Into the dough, the back of the dough. All right, so anyway, I think that text 21 will give more or less what we have just spoken, give more detail on this. But the principle has been explained in text 20. We could learn something today. What did we learn?
Yes, Mataji. Very, very good class. Actually, I learned two things today. One is, that you explained this very well, that introspection is required. We are just going by reading and not trying to understand, but introspection is so much required to realize. Very nicely, it's given here that particular transformation and influences of material nature of three modes of material nature. That means we are basically becoming different animals and different bodies we are getting, and we have to realize that we also were that, and how we lived there. So whatever life we are getting in this material as a human body, that also would be changing. So we should be prepared for whatever conditions we get and continue our sadhana. And another point, a very nice point, to conditioned. Yeah, that word condition, I never paid so much attention to that. It came so often, so often. But today you explained that so well.
Yeah. And that's why I asked the question, because we read it and as if it's English word, right? So we need to understand concept.
Very nice.
Like we are forced to accept the laws of nature, and it just become natural to us.
Yeah, you explained it very well. That thing conditioned, how we get conditioned. That means we are actually bound by bondage, and there's a boundary around us, and we have to condition ourselves. We have to get habituated to that.
Mm.
And
Mm.
there are there are no prison walls and shackles of our own habits. Yeah, very true.
Mm.
Other
Yeah.
people think that we also thinking is good for us. We don't realize what is actually good for me, and we're not trying to figure out that, but going by the flow of what world thinks.
Yes. No. Again, like yes, the world itself is our shackle, right? They make sure you stay within that boundary, you could say. Make sure. So therefore, to come out, Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai, Bhaktilata Beach. You have to come out from your circle, from your environment. So that requires great mercy. Great mercy.
Start disliking, the material situation to the extent that, because one question is in my mind is why, like the same thing Lord says that he knows and we don't know why we have come here. But what if that was so beautiful? The world out there is always described, spiritual world is so beautiful, it's beyond that. I mean, now we feel that it's so beautiful. How come we left it and we came here? Then it is again said in everywhere that if we go back, we will not return.
Yeah.
But still, why did we come here? I mean, it was so beautiful when we fell down.
Well, we didn't realize what we were. The soul became weak and got attracted by an idea. What's that idea that I can become God? That everybody will obey me, will honor me. That's what's going on in the whole world. Everybody, why all this fight on different levels? It's only that I have the upper hand, right? So that's the very reason why we are here, because we don't want Krishna. So we thought there is a better place, and when we came here, we realized it's not a better place. But there are so many goodies in this material world, because when Krishna creates something, he creates something perfectly. We study that in Bhagavatam, the description given there. Because Krishna is perfect. when he creates something, even though it is a shadow, all right, it's a shadow, that shadow also is as good as Krishna. Yeah, we read that the smile of the Lord, okay, the smile of the Lord is this material nature. So how attractive the smile of the Lord is, right? So when he creates this material nature, automatically it's very attractive. Krishna doesn't create anything that is less than himself. But the gift, we call this the poison gift that we got, was that everybody had the same idea as us, that I can be the only one. Right? So then things start turning nasty. And the other nasty thing is that whatever we have to give up. It doesn't stay with us. And the worst thing that doesn't stay with us, our own bodies. We lose our body. We keep shedding bodies. So this is all Krishna's style, you could say. We read earlier, it's a chance given. This is the mystery of the material creation, meaning let them enjoy, let us enjoy, and then prepare. So, but with the coming forth of material nature, these living entities are even given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter into the spiritual world. So if we are actually practicing sadhana and we know how to conduct my life in such a way that Krishna is always with me, then this material nature starts to recede. And you start giving it up and you are able to step into the spiritual world. And that's voluntary. We change our mind at any time. Right? It's just like you buy a cloth, you bring it home, you no longer like it. Oh, why did I choose this? Then you say, return, let me give it back. Let me return it. Right? So when we come in this material, we didn't know what we were doing, we didn't know what we were touching. But at the same time, because this material world, the smile of the Supreme Lord, so it's bewitching. Like Mohini Murti, bewitching. So because of that, we can see what we are all doing. Hope after hope that we know I will succeed, I will succeed. So we get stuck. We came for one thing and we ended up with something else. Right? Okay, it's late now. Well past our time. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhuyevach patitanam pavanam Vaishnavibhyo. We'll meet again next week. Hare Krishna.